and all of you who decided to stop and check out this very special live I'm doing. My name is Owen Fitzpatrick, and right now I'm doing a session on how you can build and scale your thought leaders business in the most effective way possible. Now, I'm going live currently, I believe, on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. So please say hello, say hi. I'm going to keep trying to go back and forth between Instagram Live and Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube Live. So please do let me know you're here. I want this to be as helpful and as useful as possible. And over the course of the next few minutes, what I want to do is share with you some of the most valuable insights that I've learned over the course of my career. More than 25 years I've been a thought leader, working as a therapist and as a coach, as a trainer, as a speaker, as a consultant, as a writer, as a video content creator. I have a couple of membership websites. So I've done quite a lot of extensive work in this field. And what I want to do over the course of the next few minutes is provide you with some value, which helps you to be able to become even more profitable, even more successful, and to be able to build and scale your expert business, whether you are a coach, a consultant, a trainer, or a speaker, or whatever area of business you're in where you apply your expertise to help people to solve their problems. And that's really what I'm looking forward to over the course of the next few minutes. So we're going to get into it. I suppose I should just give you a very brief background. I've been in the field, like I said, about 25 years. I'm a psychologist, and I deliver trainings and speeches and written books on behavioral science and how you can apply certain strategies and insights that we can learn about the way the brain works, about your mind, to be able to improve the quality of your life, the quality of your business. And I also run a number of programs around helping people to build their businesses more successfully. A very special mentorship program that I'll talk about a little later called the Thought Leaders Mentorship, which I'm opening up for just the next couple of days, and it's going to close on Thursday at midnight. But what I want to do today is give you a sort of an idea you need to be clear about in the work that you do. So I think I'm back on YouTube and Instagram and whatnot. Again, I'm relying on those of you who are checking me out on those channels to be able to reveal it. But let me get straight to the clarity questions that you want to be able to ask. So in order for you to be as effective as you can be, some of these are going to be like checklist questions that you mightn't have asked yourself. But if you're a coach, and again, maybe share in the chat, whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, share in the chat, what is the problem that you solve for people, right? What is the area that you're in? And some of the questions that you do want to ask is, who do you want to be? So what kind of person do you want to come across? What do you want your brand to be? How do you want people to perceive you? How do you want people to think of you as a thought leader? Those are all questions that you need to, first of all, get clear on in your mind before you communicate it to others. If you try to be all things to all people, you become nothing to anyone. Let me say that again. If you try to be all things to all people, you become nothing to anyone. So it's really vital as a thought leader to be very clear over who do you want to be and who don't you want to be. You also want to know who you want to impact and who don't you want to impact. And one of the things that I like to remind people is, so often what we try to do is we think about a target market and we think about the people that are going to pay us money. And I think that's fair enough. But I also think that as a thought leader, you want to be thinking about those that you're leading the thoughts of, not only the people that you're going to ask for money for your services, but also be thinking about who are you going to make a difference to. And that includes the, I suppose, target market, as well as the other people that are going to be impacted by your message, impacted by your techniques. So you want to be clear about who are you going to be? And that has to resonate with who you are, obviously. You have to feel that it's authentic. And then who do you want to be able to impact? What difference do you want to make? And that includes both your target market and people that aren't in your target market as well. You also want to be able to figure out what is the message you want to share. So the message is your big idea, the core big idea that you have that will make a tremendous difference to the people you talk to. And if you take it, for example, Mel Robbins, if you take Mel Robbins and you look at Mel Robbins' big idea, it was pretty much the 5-second rule. If you want to do anything, take any action, you count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brené Brown, while lots of deep research done, excuse me, and lots of different ideas, Brené Brown's initial big idea was the power of vulnerability, right? Or if you want to go earlier back, the gift of imperfection. That was the big idea. Imperfection is a superpower. And so when you understand most of the most successful people out there, they've got big ideas. Now, they don't just have one in their career. Adam Grant, each book is a big idea. Give and Take was a great idea about the importance of being generous and the importance of giving first and how that will allow you to success if you do it in the right way. If you look at Think Again, that's about challenging your own assumptions. But it's one core idea that you want to be known for, which you want to be able to answer. And that's different to what skills do you want to teach? Because what skills you want to teach is, so let's say, for example, in the Adam Grant example, what are the skills that you need to learn? What are the frameworks you need to learn? What are the techniques you need to learn in order for you to think again? What are the practices you need to engage in order for you to give? Brené Brown, what are the techniques you can use to showcase vulnerability or to embrace your imperfection? Again, the 5-second rule itself is an idea and also kind of simply a technique. It's one of the simplest examples. It acts as both an idea and a technique simultaneously because it's so simple. And so these are examples of the things that you want to be clear of. And you also want to be clear about how you're going to stand out. A thought leader is not just a thought follower. They're not just saying the same thing as everybody else. If you've gotten to the stage where you're successful enough as a thought leader, you can then start to say things that everyone else agrees with. And people will herald it, and people will share it, and people will like it, and people will comment on it. But you earn that right by saying things that are a little different to what they've heard before. So you have to ask yourself the question, what is it that you do differently to everyone else? What conventions do you sort of challenge? What default ways of thinking do you usurp? Do you overcome? And by doing so, it allows you to be able to stand out and be noticed more. And then what emotions do you want to cultivate in the people that you're speaking to? Do you want to inspire them? Do you want to entertain them? Do you want to engage them? How do you want them to feel when they come across your content, when they read your blog posts, when they see your YouTube videos, when they listen to your podcast? How do you want them to feel as they go through the journey there? Because the way we make people feel will play a large part in determining whether or not we become not just a thought leader, but as I would describe it, what I call a belief leader. That's in my area of my field of belief leadership. It's about cultivating belief, which then leads to commitment and then leads to the application of what it is that you're learning or what it is that you've extracted from what people have said. So again, how are you making people feel? And then where do you want to be? It's important for you to be as ubiquitous as possible, as everywhere as you possibly can in the various different channels that you want. So you got, the channel in terms of maybe a podcast or a YouTube video channel, or you might want to have a blog. But then you also have like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. You have a variety of different options there. So once again, you want to figure out where do you want to be. So again, a reflection of the questions you want to have clarity about. Who do you want to be? How do you want to come across? How do you want people to see you or perceive you? Once again, think about how Brené Brown positions herself. She's a storyteller and a researcher. Adam Grant, very heavily into the researcher that makes psychological science accessible for you. Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is very much, she can talk to you. She's just like you. She's very much the girl next door, the friend next door that you can relate to. And she's mastered her mind. So she's very, very successful as a result, and she can inspire you too. These are the kinds of impressions we get of some of the top thought leaders in our space. Then you've got who do you want to impact? Not just the target market, but the people you want to make a difference to. Then you've got what message you want to, ultimately speaking, get across, the one big idea that you want people to connect to you. And you also have the framework or the set of skills, which is when you go deeper in terms of the how of the what. The what is the big idea. You also might want to be clear about your purpose. As Simon Sinek would say, your why. And sometimes your big idea is the why, right? Sometimes the big idea is that not just what you're doing, but the reasons that you're doing it for. So once again, with Simon Sinek as an example, his big idea was start with why. And that concept, start with why, became something that immediately challenged the status quo, because the original way of thinking was, well, we tell them what we do, we tell them how we do it, and then maybe we'll tell them the purpose of the why. Whereas he flipped it and said, start with the purpose, then explain how, and then explain what it is. Different way of thinking. That's, again, how you will stand out. And then what emotions you want to create, how you want people to feel. And finally, where you want to be, what channels you want to connect with the world on. So let me know so far in the chat how this is going for you. Let me know which question resonates for you the most. I'm going to check to see the comments and to check to see if anyone said hi. And we'll do that. So we've got a bunch of people here. Good to see y'all. On Facebook, no. Sandra, hey Sandra, great. We've got Rick. How's it going, Rick? Good to see you, mate. Okay, all right. Lots of people have joined, but not everyone is speaking. But that's okay. That is okay. Let me see if there's any comments on this. All right. Well, I'm hoping this is making sense. And I'm hoping you're finding it useful. Let me continue on. So we talked about clarity, first of all. The second piece that we want to be able to focus on is build. This means being able to build your business effectively. And building your business effectively means getting all the necessary fundamentals in place. You want to have a website. And the purpose of the website, we'll talk about the things you need and then the purpose of each. You want to build a website. The purpose of the website is primarily credibility. You're introducing people to your world. You're letting them know about your products and services. But the whole point of your website is to try to get people to see you know what you're talking about. You are an expert in this space. So that's where you want to be showcasing your testimonials, showcasing the work that you've done, explaining exactly how you work, what you do, making sure there's beautiful photographs up there of you. So when people see you, instantly they're thinking to themselves, this is a person that knows what they're talking about. The primary purpose of a website. You also want to be able to build an email list. And the email list is you want to be able to find what we call a lead magnet, which would be something you give away for free in exchange for their email, or a newsletter, which is something you email them regularly on in exchange for their email. And the idea of capturing an email list is it allows you to provide regular value and deepen and build a relationship with your clients or prospects, so that if they're a prospect, they turn into clients. And so if they're a client, they stay loyal and they want to do more work with you. And so what you're looking to do with an email list is continuously provide value and then occasionally let them know about what you're doing. So you're constantly teaching them things, providing videos for them, providing, messages for them, emails for them that enrich their life or make their business better. And as a result of that, then when you do have something to sell, you can then let them know about it. And if they want to go deeper, they can buy the product. If not, they keep getting emails from you. They keep getting value from you. You keep serving them in the most effective way. The next thing you also want is products and services. And this is when you're solving their actual core problem. So if you're an expert in stress management, this is your stress management seminar. This is your stress management coaching. This is what you do to be able to help them to solve their core problem. The very reason they're looking at you in the first place, the very reason they visited your website. These are the products and services. They're designed to fix their core problem. That's their big problem, their big issue. and something about your message, your big idea resonates with them as a new novel approach that stands out as different to everything else they've been through. And as a result of that, they're intrigued and they want to learn the strategies and skills and techniques that you can offer them. So they will then buy your book. They will attend your webinar. They will attend your seminar. They will hire you as a coach or as a consultant. And once you've established and been clear about your products and services, the next is long form content. And long form content would be your YouTube channel, the videos there, or your podcast, the episodes you create there, or the blog posts that you write if they're longer form blog posts. And that's when you're there trying to solve what we call your peripheral problems. So with stress management, for example, one of the challenges might be they might get stressed out because they're working too much. So you might do a blog post or a podcast episode about how to be able to prioritize effectively, how to be able to handle burnout or handling overwhelm. And that in turn is a sub problem, a peripheral problem of the core problem, which is stress. And so your long form content will help solve the peripheral problems and give them actual frameworks or strategies that allows them to go, wow, I listened to that podcast episode, I watched that video, and now I'm able to tackle this particular, this particular peripheral problem, this issue that's related to the bigger issue of stress. If I want to deal with the bigger issue of stress, I can always do the course. I can always hire this person as a coach. But primarily, we solve the peripheral problems in our long form content. And then in our short form content, the last thing we build, this is the social media channels. This is the little micro videos we do. This is the posts that we do daily. This is the carousels. This is the quotes. What we're trying to do is provide insights, tips, or techniques, very quick wins that people can immediately use, that can solve more micro problems, specific strategies that can help them to deal with, some of the bigger problems. You don't go in much in depth. If they want more in depth, they go to your longer form content. But these are micro tips or insights or techniques or very simple frameworks that people can immediately consume very quickly and apply to their life. So they have to be very actionable and straight to the point and grab people's attention effectively. So you've got the website for showcasing credibility. You got the email list for providing value and building good relationships with prospects and clients. You got products and services to solve their core problem, long form content to solve their peripheral problems, and then short form content to give them tips and tricks and immediate actionable wins on some of those peripheral problems or even on the core problem as well. Let me know if this is making sense, if this is helpful. I know we're covering a lot, but I'm hopeful that you're finding it useful. And I think this will also, my understanding is this should be recorded on the various different platforms. So you'll be able to watch it back as well. I'm hopeful. To be honest, I'm semi-understanding how this works, but sure, look. Let me know if you have any questions as well, how you're getting on with everything. Just going to double check to see if you have any questions in the various different channels. All right. So basically what you're looking for then is, first of all, we talked originally about clarity, getting clear on those questions I asked. We talked about building using the various different elements like the website and products and services and whatnot. The final part is scale. And this is really, how do you improve where you are and where you need to get to? So how do you optimize how effective what you're looking to do is? So let's say, for example, you're trying to scale up your, we've got Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Very helpful as a yoga teacher. Difficult to stand out on Instagram. Wonderful. Thanks, Sarah. And Claudia. Hi, Claudia. Super helpful. You're very welcome. Let's say we take yoga teaching, right? Because I think it's a great example. So if you're a yoga teacher, let's walk through quickly in terms of clarity. What kind of yoga teacher do you want to be known as? Right. And part of that is also going to involve the later question, how do you want to stand out? But what are the main qualities people want to describe you as, for example, Sarah, when they talk about you as a yoga teacher? Who do you want to impact with your yoga? Not just the people that you want to bring into the class, but also the people that you want to be able to make a difference to so that their lives are different as a result of what you've taught them. What is your core message? Now, this is a little bit trickier with something physical like yoga, but you could still do it. It's what is the core message that you want people to get about yoga that not many people are saying, that certainly other yoga teachers aren't always saying, but you think is the big game changer for you? What is the part of yoga that has made most of a difference to your life? Then the skill set, that should be a lot easier for you. What are some basic skills people can learn to be able to use yoga to transform the quality of their health and quality of their life, then how will you stand out? That's the key. So what is it that you'll do that makes you a different kind of yoga teacher to everybody else out there? And it can't just be competing on price. What emotions do you want to create? How do you want to show up online, to the point that how do you want people to feel when they experience you online, when you talk about yoga and you talk about the work that you do? And then in terms of where do you want to be? Well, it seems like you're choosing Instagram, which is a great, it's a decent option. And so on Instagram, what are the most successful yoga teachers on Instagram doing, and how can we learn from them? And how do we show up on Instagram in that way? In terms of building, your website should establish you in terms of your credentials and your credibility as a top-class yoga teacher. The email list you want to get, you're constantly providing value, teaching people who are interested in yoga, wonderful adjustments to make to their routine, how to improve, how to optimize, breathing techniques, whatnot. Products and services, whatever you offer, and how you can create a compelling offer. Long form content would be, if you've got a video, excuse me, if you've got a video channel, would probably be the most suitable for yoga, where you walk people through various different poses and whatnot. And then you've got short form content, which is really the shorter videos that you have on Instagram. Now, with regards to the scale piece, the first element here is repurposing content. This means taking some stuff from the long form content, like, for example, the YouTube channel that you might have, and taking clips of this where you go into a specific breathing technique and you take, let's say, a 1-minute clip of you explaining how to use breathing to be able to increase a person's energy. So you talk about this breathing technique, the posture, where to breathe from. Let's say your belly should be going out when you breathe in, and so forth and so on. And you walk people through this technique so that they find themselves able to get a taster of what's available. And then they can go and pursue more information at your YouTube channel. And then the deeper they go and the more they learn from you, the more they trust you and the more they realize you're bringing a massive amount of value. So repurposing content is taking your long form and repurposing it into your short form. You'll see me do this with the podcasts. So you can go to the podcast on my YouTube channel, but I then we create micro versions of that, which then people can then see on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. You then have leveraging AI. ChatGPT is wonderful. Again, let's say you're a yoga teacher. What you could do is give me 15 different ways, ChatGPT, give me 15 different ways in which yoga can enhance the quality of a person's life. Come up with 20 different titles, blog post titles, which talks about the impact of yoga or how yoga can make a difference. And then what you can do is you can create the content. Now, you can get it to create it as well, but I recommend you doing it yourself. But you can create it based upon the ideas it gives you. And what you can do is you can start to find lots of ways to be able to optimize how you engage people on Instagram. You can say, I want you to give me 10 catchy hooks, which is like the title that immediately gets people intrigued, for videos about the value of yoga for your personal life. And then it will give you some great ideas, which you then can pick from. And then you can create sort of short form videos on those topics that you can then use across the platform. So leveraging AI is wonderful from an information tool and also from a persuasion, helping you to be more persuasive with your, captions and copy. You want to engage people online. It's another way to scale. You engage with other yoga teachers. You share your own experience. This is done a lot in LinkedIn, and it's valued a lot in LinkedIn, is when you comment on someone else who's in the same space as you and you give your point of view and perspective. You can do it in Instagram as well, but again, try to do your best to collaborate with others. Try to find other influencers. You can have them on an Instagram live with you so you're sharing populations if you feel that their population will be right for you. Build systems and processes. So identify automatic ways that you can do the same things you need to do all the time. So if you are repurposing content, create a system for that. If you're going on regularly onto Instagram, create a system for that. If you're creating content, it's good to batch it. So in other words, create all the videos maybe on a Monday and then schedule them on a Tuesday and create systems to make it automatic and easy for you to do so. It's another way to be able to scale. And down the line, once you've done this, if you can build a business where you've got a list of all of these processes and systems, then you can hire a virtual assistant to be able to take some of those off your hands. And that's how we scale, because it means you got more time to be adding value, more time to be delivering workshops or seminars or teaching yoga, like bringing people to a yoga session in that case. So again, I just wanted to make this as contextually useful as possible. So that's why I gave the example there for you, Sarah. I hope you found that helpful. Hope everyone found that helpful, but I'm hoping that you can see how this could be valuable. So just bringing everything together, let me just share the 3 elements that we're really talking about here. Is number 1, we've got clarity. That's clear about who do you want to be, who do you want to impact, what message do you want to impart or communicate to people, what are the skills or techniques you want them to be able to use, how will you stand out as different, what are you going to do different to everyone else, what emotions do you want to create, and where do you want to be. And then we've got building your website for the credibility it gives, building your email list, right? Getting people on your email list so that you can build deeper relationships with them. Offering products and services, which helps them solve their core problem. Long-form content, which helps them solve a peripheral problem. And short-form content, like on social media, which gives them tips and tricks and insights to help them with some of their peripheral problems as well. And then finally, scaling by repurposing the content from long-form to short-form. Leveraging AI in the most useful way possible by getting ideas and getting insights on not just what to discuss in your content, but also what are some great ways of grabbing people's attention. Engaging people online by commenting on other people's stuff and connecting with them, recommending other people even. Building systems and processes, which is a really great way of making sure that your business is able to expand and scale, and then hiring a VA eventually when you get to that level. If you're interested in more information about how you can build and scale your coaching, consulting, training, speaking, instructing business, would love to help you. I am opening up the doors, or I've opened up the doors until Thursday evening, tomorrow evening at midnight, to my Thought Leaders Mentorship Program. For more information on it, you can have a look at it. It's owenfitzpatrick.com/TLM, standing for Thought Leaders Mentorship. That's owenfitzpatrick.com/TLM. You'll see it at the bottom of this if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, or LinkedIn. And this is a mentorship. It's more than 150 in total hours of content. And it is somewhere I meet with my group. We jump on a Zoom meeting call, and we do it twice a month. Once I train you in an area, like for example, in July, I'll be teaching people a 90-minute session on how to leverage ChatGPT to be able to optimize yourself and how well you put yourself across and create content. And we've got all sorts of stuff, how to create a podcast, how to write a book. I mean, we cover a lot, and there's an awful lot as well that you can immediately get access to. More than 150 hours of content in there that you get as soon as you sign up. And we're going to keep it open until tomorrow evening at midnight. So if you're interested, go to owenfitzpatrick.com/TLM. Really would love you to be part of the community. We've got dozens of people that are experts and thought leaders in lots of different spaces. And we'd love to have you a part of it as well. So we'd love to see you. But for now, I hope you found this few minutes useful and valuable. And I hope that it helps you in your endeavor to be able to become a more highly paid and more successful thought leader, coach, consultant, trainer, speaker, author. Best of luck for the future. Thank you very much for watching. May the force be with you, and may you all continue to believe better. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.